Hello students. In this video, we will learn about the present perfect, the present perfect progressive, and the past perfect. We will also learn about irregular verbs, and how to give short answers. In the previous pattern, we have learned about past tense. For examples, I answered 2 questions yesterday. I answered 2 questions today. John talked to Bill twice last week. John talked to Bill twice this week. Paul bought 4 new books last year. Paul bought 4 new books this year. In the new pattern, we will learn about present perfect. For examples, I have answered 2 questions today. John has talked to Bill twice this week. Paul has bought 4 new books this year. Exercise 1. Use the present perfect whenever possible in this exercise. When it is not possible, use the past tense. John answered all our questions today. John has answered all our questions today. Last night. John answered all our questions last night. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video until you finish the exercise. Exercise 2. Practice since and for, with the present perfect of verbs expressing states or situations. Bill owns this house. He bought it in January. Bill has owned this house since January. Jane belongs to the club. She joined it 3 weeks ago. Jane has belonged to the club for 3 weeks. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video until you finish the exercise. Exercise 3. Listen to the statements. They tell about situations that began in the past, and continue to the present. Give the same information, using the present perfect. I liked American movies in 1965, and I like them now. I've liked American movies since 1965. I wanted to see this movie a year ago, and I want to see it now. I've wanted to see this movie for a year. I had blonde hair when I was a child, and I still have blonde hair now. I've had blonde hair ever since I was a child. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video until you finish the exercise. The present perfect is used only when one of the following 2 conditions is met. 1. The state described by the verb, or the result of the action, continue into the present. John has been here for 10 minutes. This implies that he is here now. John has opened the window. This implies that the window is still open. Compare. John was here for 10 minutes. This implies that he is somewhere else now. John opened the window. This implies that perhaps the door is closed now. 2. The action described by the verb can be repeated in the present or future. John has visited New York 3 times. This implies that he can visit it again. Compare. George Washington visited New York many times. In questions, the use of have indicates that the action or situation described is still possible at the time of speaking, or in the future. For example, the question "Have you eaten breakfast?" will be used only in the morning, when it is still possible to eat breakfast. It will not be used at supper time, or in the evening. Consider also these negative examples. A. I haven't eaten breakfast this morning. B. I didn't eat breakfast this morning. C. Have you seen the president on TV? D. Did you ever see John F. Kennedy in person? Sentence A can be used in the morning. But later in the day, when you can no longer change the situation, you should use sentence B. Similarly, sentence C asks about something which is possible to do, while sentence D asks about something which can no longer be done. Exercise 4. Listen to the sentences in the present progressive. Make sentences in the present perfect progressive. Include for 2 hours in your sentences. John is talking to the teacher. John has been talking to the teacher for 2 hours. The teacher is explaining a difficult pattern. The teacher has been explaining a difficult pattern for 2 hours. Mary is watching television. Mary has been watching television for 2 hours. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video until you finish the exercise. Exercise 5. Practice sense, and 4, with the present perfect progressive of verbs expressing activities or events. The phone is ringing. It started 2 minutes ago. The phone has been ringing for 2 minutes. The water is running. I turned it on at 9 o'clock. The water has been running since 9 o'clock. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video until you finish the exercise. Exercise 6. Combine 2 sentences to form a new one, which contains the word because. When you change the order of the 2 sentences, use the past perfect. John studied very hard. He answered all the questions correctly. John answered all the questions correctly because he had studied very hard. Mary played tennis all afternoon yesterday. She was tired last night. Mary was tired last night because she had played tennis all afternoon. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video until you finish the exercise. Exercise 7. Short answers. Individually. Have you visited New York? Yes, I have. Or, no, I haven't. Have you seen the Empire State Building? Yes, I have. Or, no, I haven't. Had and hadn't complete the short answers to questions beginning with had. For example, had he completed his studies when he went to France? Yes, he had. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video until you finish the exercise. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video until you finish the exercise. Exercise 8. Listen to the statement. Expand the statement with but, since. Use haven't and hasn't in the added part. In this exercise, omit time expressions after the word since. The time expressions are already in the sentence, and are therefore not repeated. They are understood. I met several architects last year. I met several architects last year, but I haven't met any since. I read a French book last semester. I read a French book last semester, but I haven't read any since. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video until you finish the exercise. Exercise 9. Make replies beginning with the word but. Use the present perfect. He didn't write anything yesterday. But he has written something today. He didn't break anything yesterday. But he has broken something today. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video until you finish the exercise. Exercise 10. Make replies beginning with the word but. Use the present perfect. He didn't drive a car yesterday. But he has driven one today. He didn't sing a song yesterday. But he has sung one today. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video until you finish the exercise. Exercise 11. Listen to the statement and to the words that follow it. Combine them to form a new sentence. Notice that, if the main verb is in a past tense, the verb of the that clause is in a past tense. If the original statement was expressed in the past tense, the verb of the that clause can be in the past perfect tense. You look very happy. She told me. She told me that I looked very happy. He is going to graduate soon. He wrote me. He wrote me that he was going to graduate soon. Apollo 11 landed on the moon. They announced. They announced that Apollo 11 had landed on the moon. We have been working very hard. You knew. You knew that we had been working very hard. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video until you finish the exercise. Well done, students! You have finished chapter or lesson 18. I hope you enjoy it and please keep practicing. See you again, bye.